So behind me is the Next Level Racing ERS3 Hypercool active cooling sim racing seat. And I've been trying it over the last couple of weeks to see if it's any good. So straight off the bat, jumping in the seat, how is the cooling? Well, I've got to tell you straight away, it is nice. It does make quite a big difference. It definitely cools you down. It blows air onto your back and underneath your bum rather than away from it, which was an interesting decision, but it definitely cools you down. You can clearly notice when it's on, and it does make you a lot cooler. So that's a big tick. However, the fans are a little bit louder than I expected. Let me show you right now. I'll put it on maximum mode. Listen to this. It's quite a lot louder than you would expect it to be on maximum mode. However, when you put it on the lower mode, listen to this. A lot quieter. So to be fair, honestly, once you've got a set of headphones on and stuff, on the lower mode, you don't notice it. It's completely fine. The volume is not an issue. Even without headphones, it's quiet enough that you wouldn't notice it too badly. But it is still louder than I expected it to be. There is 6 fans. It's still louder than I expected it to be. On high mode though, it is really quite loud. And honestly, I think you need headphones on in order to be able to deal with the fan noise on high mode. So cooling then is a big tick, but what about comfort? Well, as you can see, I've got it next to their Next Level Racing PRS1 seat, which I ran for about a month before this, and look at the difference in these seats. Now, the cooling chair, I guess because it's cooled, has got a very, very straight back. I mean, look at that there. That's almost completely straight. It's very strange. And then look at the PRS1. That's much more curved. It's got much bigger side cushions here, and it's just much more curved. You've got some adjustable lumbar support down here as well. Big, big difference. So coming from this to this, I did find it uncomfortable. However, now I've been using it for a good few weeks, I don't find it uncomfortable. At no point have I got out of it with a sore back or, you know, been acting uncomfortable and not waiting to get out of it. That hasn't been a thing. But when I was compared to this one, it was less comfortable. So they have compromised comfort a little bit in order to make it actively cooled. There's no doubt about that. Another thing I found slightly weird was that although of course you can adjust the back, let me get this out of the way, you can adjust the back, it seems to be you can only adjust it in quite big increments. So again, I've gotten used to it now, but the angle of that, you can't adjust it just a very small amount. It needs quite a big amount. Let me show you the next biggest amount you can adjust it by. So to adjust the angle of the seat, you just have to pull up these 2 levers which are on either side, pull them both up, and then it kind of pushes you forward. But if I wanted to go slightly further back, the next furthest back I can go is all the way there, which to me feels like I'm a low rider. It feels really, really low. Go back to where I originally had it, which is there, which is sort of right, but I feel like it's just hunching me over a little bit. I'll go forward again just so you can see that, and it just feels like we need more adjustment, you know, more options, I suppose, between those 3, because this is the option I've settled on, but I'm used to it now. When I first got into it, it did feel like it was a bit too hunched forward, and I think it's a combination of the straight back here and the inability to adjust these positions perfectly. But obviously it has got an adjustable back, as you can see, and as I said, overall now I am used to the current angle that we've got. But honestly, other than that, this is a comfortable seat. The foam is nice and soft. The build quality is really good as well. And I haven't had any issues whatsoever in terms of comfort. It was purely coming from their previous seat, which is probably more of a compliment to their previous seat, the PRS1, than it was to this, honestly. But yeah, it's not as comfortable as it could be, but I think honestly, it does make up for it in terms of cooling. So one final thing I want to touch on before I conclude is the fit. Now this seat is definitely wider than previous seats I've used. If I get over the top here, you can kind of see how wide it is. It's not crazy wide, but it is wider than I expected. So wide, in fact, as you can see here, this by the way is the wire to connect the top to the bottom. And as you can see, it only just fits in my rig. So you've got the base plate here that it's attached to underneath, if I can move out the power cable there. And then this bit overhangs and it sort of only just fits there. I cannot make the seat any lower, it's impossible. However, the previous seat that I had, the Next Level Racing one and the one I had before that, which was a Sparco seat, both fit within this channel. And this is obviously fairly exclusive to my rig, depending on your rig size, but it is wider than I expected it to be. I also expected the holes they used to mount it to the rig on this rail here to be the exact same dimensions as the one I had on the previous Next Level Racing seat. For some reason, that wasn't the case, which was really surprising. I had to drill new holes. I've got a winning rig, it's not an issue, but if you've got a current Next Level Racing seat, don't necessarily expect the holes to be in the same place, which I found a little bit odd. So overall, would I recommend the Next Level Racing Hypercool racing seat? Well, for me, as I said, I'm fortunate to have a Next Level Racing PRS1 right there ready to fit back in. And when I first put this thing in, I was tempted to put it back just because I find it slightly more comfortable with better lumbar support. However, I'm a sweaty boy when I sim race. And for me, the cooling is worth it. And like I said, I don't find it actively uncomfortable now I'm used to it. So honestly, I think for you, it comes down to preference. If you value being cool, if you sweat a lot, it's probably worth getting this seat. However, if you have back problems or comfort is a bigger priority to you than being the perfect temperature, then it could well be worth going for a different seat. So overall though, I am keeping this seat because I like the cooling effect. It's so simple just to flip the switch just down there, job done. So next level racing seat, Hypercool, I recommend it.